Hey you guys, I think we're on, did we do Sagittarius, Aquarius, Aquarius, yeah, Aquarius we're on. Okay, so your first card is the Sun with the Death card with the Seven of Pentacles. Now, what your reading is showing is the Sun, um, is like when everything is all good. You feel optimistic about things feel like they're going your way, you're positive about things. Everything is nice when the Sun card shows up, and it's always like a positive omen in the tarot, and usually it's a yes card, like anything that you're wanting to confirm or anything, the Sun usually represents yes, like gives you the go ahead for different ventures and things. Now, the Death card has a completely different feel to the Sun card. But the good thing is that with the two cards that are supporting your reading, like the Sun with the Seven of Pentacles, it doesn't seem like it's all that bad. It doesn't seem like a really gloom and doom situation, because both cards are really bright and kind of uplift the reading, whereas this card is like really dark. Now, the Death card to me is like when you are going through a different phase of things, it means that there are things that you're going to be leaving behind. So, it doesn't always have to be a bad thing. It could just be maybe you've just outgrown a situation, maybe you're just changing, and certain things just have to end just naturally. And it just means that whatever work that comes of it, you have to work more on. Like, it could almost be maybe you're improving yourself physically, like maybe you're adopting a new kind of lifestyle pattern. Maybe you are uh giving up something, like some form of addiction, something that you were really used to. Maybe you're just, especially because they have a good vibe about it, it could be with the Sun and the Death card, maybe you're trying to just better yourself, you're trying to better your circumstances or situation, so you're kind of having to change your approach to things. And so the Seven of Pentacles is saying you're willing to do the work to create the changes that you want to see, which is a nice vibe. Even if the Death card sends you all the way back to the beginning or the start of something that was going well previously, the Seven of Pentacles is just saying that you're just gonna have to get your hands dirty and work a little bit harder to get to where you want to be. Now, the Seven of Pentacles doesn't bring about fast results. It's not the Wheel of Fortune card where things can happen in an instant. It's about really putting in the effort to get what you want in the end, and it's like every effort that you make, something comes from that effort. But again, it takes time. It's like an investment. It's like you have to wait for that payoff or that payout. And so what I see for you is that it's just telling you, this with this card, you have to be patient, you have to wait, and you have to be prepared to really again put the work in. But then I kind of see, however this is kind of turning out for you, it does bring about good results, but that's good results in the future. If I was to think of a more specific scenario that this could be happening in, I don't know why, but I really sense for some of you guys, like the transformation you could be seeing has to do with the physical transformation. So I don't know if some of you guys are like you're going on a weight loss journey, or changing your eating habits. Like, I don't know if you've been like a vegetarian, now you decide to go to vegan, or you was a meat eater, now you're vegetarian or something like that. But I don't know why, but I'm kind of sensing that is more to do with your vitality and your well-being, because the Sun can also connect with your vitality as well. Or some of you guys might be getting over a period of bad health, like maybe it wasn't hugely bad, like maybe it was with the Sun, it could have been a situation where you was really healthy, really active and everything, and then maybe you get sick with something that maybe was kept you a bit down for a few weeks or something like that, and now you're rebuilding your health again with the Seven of Pentacles, because that kind of works with the way these cards kind of present themselves. So it could be showing up like that as well. But whatever it is, it's like you are given the opportunity to receive sort of this new lease of life, even if it comes about gradually. So peace and many blessings to you. I'll be seeing you, Aquarius. Bye. Okay, the next reading is going to be for who's after Aquarius? Pisces. So let's see what is showing up for the Pisces this week. So Pisces, you have Page of Cups, the Six of Rods with the Ten of Swords. So, first thing that came to mind looking at the Six of Rods cards is that sometimes with success brings about enemies. That's the first thing that came to mind. So I don't know if some of you guys are dealing with a situation like that, where you might be the one receiving the accolades or doing really well and getting the pat on the back, and some other people may be jealous or may not be happy with your accomplishments or what you've achieved for yourself. Certain people, like, they want to stay with you and they don't mind, riding with you when you're on your way to the top, but sometimes when you reach the top, like, people are not pleased. And so I kind of get this impression, I don't know, like, if you're dealing with a jealous person or envious person, but I feel like certain connections or certain people that you may have thought was like in your circle may be showing you that they're not loyal to you. So it could be that, or it could be a situation where, when I mean loyalty, it could be a situation where somebody else is actually trying to maybe sabotage your reputation in some kind of way because they're not happy. And the sad thing is that you and this person at one point was cool with each other, because the Page of Cups is like when you get on well, you have a good connection, you have a good vibes with this other person. It could be somebody that you even work alongside, especially with the Seven of Rods. So I kind of get the impression that yeah, that you and this person was cool at one point, and emotions were sort of riding high, like things was okay, and you've accomplished things, and you're showing improvements in certain areas of your life. Could be financial improvements with this Six of Rods or some kind of accomplishment, but then it's met with something that is kind of negative, that's sort of putting a damper on the whole thing. And I kind of feel like it could be another person. Another way this reading could be is, if it's not another person, it could be just everything going on in your mind. Like, it could be a sense of maybe you are receiving accolades, but then there's worries and fears and there's stress connected with your promotion. Maybe it takes more work, maybe it's long hours, maybe it's much more stressful, the work you have to do. So there's something that is connecting it, that is kind of putting a damper on things, and maybe you're kind of feeling like, this is kind of feels a bit like a blessing and a curse. Like, yes, I might be getting more money, but yes, they're expecting a lot more out of me, and it's just presenting a difficult situation. It also could be saying maybe you're the person that is walking away from a certain situation because maybe you have felt backstabbed in some kind of way, or maybe you have felt like everything wasn't quite what it seemed from a certain situation. Things may have seemed really positive and really pleasant, when in actuality there might have been certain people that were either gunning even for your position. It could be that as well. Like, maybe you came into something that was good, came into maybe some money, came into a better job, something, and then maybe you're having to walk away from that thing as well, and maybe that's like the bitterness that comes with having to leave that thing behind because you didn't want to. It was good at one point, especially with these two cards. Something was good at one point, and it felt good and it felt right, and you was definitely happy with the situation, but now it's like the feelings have changed. Sometimes it can be hitting the reality of something that makes it change for you. So that's what I get with your card. Peace and many blessings for you, Pisces. I will see you. Bye. Okay, the next reading is going to be for the very last sign, which will be Virgo. So let's see what shows up for the Virgos. Okay. So sorry. Let's focus on Virgo energy. Virgo. Virgo. Okay, you have the King of Cups with the Queen of Pentacles with the Temperance card. That's a nice one to end on. The King of Cups, you're the second sign to have like two cups cards, then have like another card kind of bringing the cups cards together. And like I explained to that sign, I explained to you that, the cups cards are usually ones that like readers don't really like so much, or they usually find quite difficult to understand in the very beginning of like learning how to read cards, because they represent like a person. They can represent a person, or they can represent a situation, and they can represent either you, the querent, or they can represent somebody else. So because of all those factors, it can be sometimes a bit more tricky to determine like what it actually represents in a reading. But because this is a general reading, I usually just describe it in all the different scenarios that it could possibly show up for you. Whereas I think, in a one-on-one reading, it's more about using your intuition and seeing, how the card fits in the life of the person that you're reading for. So what I see here is the King of Cups. It could be representing your energy, because sometimes, even though like you're a Virgo and your element is more earth, which would more coincide with the Queen of Pentacles, we have to understand that for each person we have all different facets of our personalities and of ourselves. And the same way, if you looked into your birth chart, you would see all different planets in all different signs that have all different influences on you and your life and stuff like that. The cards can be picking up on those influences as well. So how I would explain this first off is the King of Cups is it has the two different elements to it, because you have a king element, you have a queen element. So you have the masculine and you have the feminine that come together to make the whole. And the temperance card is about that, is about the opposites that attract, that come together to make one whole. So I kind of feel like your reading could be talking about a relationship, two people coming together in that kind of way, whether it's a love relationship, friendship, partnership, like anything like that, two people coming together. And I feel like because the elements work really well together, because it's like cups and pentacles, which is water and earth. It's a very nurturing, loving, kind relationship. It's, has a lot of care. It's gentle. It's really and it's a serious relationship, because you have the king and queen. So you don't have, sort of young puppy love. You have more of a mature kind of love and understanding within these two people. And so because of that, there could definitely be a future that exists there. And again, with the temperance representing this union and this coming together, temperance is all about healing as well, and it's about patience, taking your time with things, and about alchemy. So changing, having one element that changes into something completely different. And so with all that being said, sometimes it can even represent fertility as well. And the Queen of Pentacles is all about the kind of about fertility too. So I don't know if some of you guys could be, thinking about that or having discussions about that. So it could be coming, that could be showing up in your life in that way. It also could be saying that again, you just are really getting on with somebody that is a kindred spirit of yours. And another thing which the Temperance card can represent is, because it represents coming together, it could be saying that if you've been separated from somebody, like a ex, you might actually be getting back with them. So there could be like a reconciliation from somebody that you really have been thinking about, wondering how they're doing. Because when you see the way these two are facing, which is also important in readings, is the direction people are facing. It's like his back is towards the queen, and the queen has her hand on her belly. So it could be a sense of maybe this queen is thinking about somebody, right now, wanting to get in contact, wanting to, ignite an old flame, bring back an old situation again. The only thing is, this person may not be thinking about it, or maybe this person does have the feelings, but they're not really acting on it. And so, it might be a case of maybe you have to be the one to act on it, or you never know, maybe they might be the one to act on it too. But I kind of feel like there's this thing where there's no communication, only because people are either too scared to act, or like they don't really know what the other person is going to say, or whether the other person really wants them back, or really, it could be like one of them kind of situations. um so it's almost like someone has to make the first step. And that's also what represents with temperance, about having to take your time, being patient. So it can be like a slower process. So somebody has to be the one to reach out to really connect things back again. But I feel like if you can, it will be a really good thing. And again, this connection doesn't have to be necessarily a romantic one. It could be even a friend or family member that you've been kind of like estranged from, and stuff like that. You might be thinking about and wanting to get back in contact with. um heal and mend old wounds. So I kind of get this feeling that this week for you, Virgo, is there is a really big sense of healing and coming together and really reestablishing connections between you and other people that are around you. So peace and many blessings to you. I'll be seeing you. Bye.